We're going to get back to the standings in a second, but one thing that we do want to go over tonight, and before Justin then gets off, is our top 5 MLB stadiums. It's just kind of one of these things. Throughout the summer, I'm going to throw in some different countdowns because even if you're not a huge baseball fan, everyone appreciates a night out at the park or whatever and going over their favorite stadiums. There's all the classic stadiums, but a majority of the stadiums now in MLB have been built since 2000, and they're really actually a lot of nice stadiums. There's a few clunkers like the Coliseum in Oakland, but overall, most of the stadiums in MLB right now are state-of-the-art, or at least they're new, and they're pretty nice places. So I'll start at number 5. We're going to go 5-1. Each of us have a different list. My 5th favorite stadium is Busch Stadium. I love the arch out in center field and the arch that they have. Like, the Gateway Arch is literally right behind the park. Overall, the color, it's a real big park. I like the stadium a lot. John, what's your 5th favorite stadium?
I've got Camden Yards. I've had the opportunity to go there. It's a gorgeous ballpark, and I recommend anyone to go check it out.
Justin, what do you have?
Number 5, I like the New York Giants, the San Francisco Giants, PNC. Is it PNC Park? Is it in?
Yeah, PNC. Oh, no, AT&T.
AT&T Park out there in San Francisco. I like when they hit the home run, it pretty much scales over the factory that's pretty much built into the stadium and heads right into the river, and every time people always dive into the water, which is pretty funny if you see it on TV.
Yeah, and the glove out in left field and the Coke bottle. It's one of the more unique stadiums.
Yeah.
At number 4, I have CBP, Citizens Bank Park, home of the Phillies. This is a really nice stadium overall. If you go there, it actually was one of the cheaper stadiums to build, but it gets like night games at Citizens Bank Park. I can tell you, they are just great. It's a great overall park. You got Ashburn Alley out in the outfield and the bell when you hit a home run. Like, that's one of the things that you have to have with the new stadium is like a unique thing. The Giants have that glove and like the river, as Justin mentioned, and then the Phillies have the Liberty Bell that swings back and forth when someone hits a home run or when they win the game. And that's one of the more unique things around the game right now. So you guys go ahead and give your 4th favorite.
I got PNC Park in Pittsburgh as my number 4. It's a great view with Roberto Clemente Bridge in center field. And Pittsburgh actually has a really good fan base for baseball, which a lot of people don't give credit for. That place actually gets packed here and there for them being not a good baseball team for the longest time. But it's packed every time I watch, it's a great ballpark.
My number 4, I have Dodger Stadium. I mean, that's a legend stadium there. You can see a great. You're pretty much the Chavez Ravine. It's a great place. You hear Vince Scully when you walk into Dodger Stadium. All of a sudden, welcome to Dodger Stadium from Vince Scully. I mean, that just gets you pumped for Dodger baseball. I happened to go to a couple of Dodger games over the last summer. I got to meet Don Mattingly, got to meet James Loney, Andre Ethier, guys like that. Just a great overall, great fan base in California and Los Angeles. Great stadium to be at.
The problem, though, is once you walk outside the stadium, you got crypts everywhere, and, like, it's not really a safe stadium. Inside, I mean, that is one of the stadiums I want to go to, one of the oldest and most underappreciated stadiums. That stadium has so much history of, like, Sandy Koufax, guys like that. So it's a beautiful stadium, and it always seems like it's sunny there. But outside the stadium, not necessarily a great area. Number 3, at the ballpark in Arlington. This is a huge stadium. I don't even know how to describe it necessarily, but when it's packed, it is just a beautiful stadium. I love the stadiums like that, Busch Field. They have the grass in center field. It's a beautiful stadium, and when it's all filled up, it's one of the nicest ones in the MLB. Originally, it wasn't always all filled up, but they've drawn a lot better over the last few seasons.
I got the AT&T Park at 3rd, and Justin summed that up pretty well with the water and right field and everything. It's a great ballpark.
My number three is actually Yankee Stadium. I really haven't been to the new Yankee Stadium. I've been to the old Yankee Stadium, but I really want to go back because I used to I lived in New Jersey, and I lived close to where Tim lived. I live about an hour away from where Tim lived, And I grew up watching three teams, and the Yankees were always the favorite team I've always watched. I watched the Yankees, I watched the Giants, and I watched the Angels. You guys can say whatever you want, but those are the three teams I'm a diehard fan of. Say whatever you want, call me bandwagon, I don't care, I know who I support. But the New York Yankee Stadium, new Yankee Stadium, I like the logos out in the outfield. It's just beautiful. Every time before the game, you always have the Star Wars theme, Mark Teixeira, and you have the Star Wars theme going with their names. It's just a great environment over at Yankee Stadium, nice fan base, and I would like to go visit there sometime.
Yeah, I mean, the one I never understood why they got rid of the old Yankee Stadium, to be honest. The new one looks nice. I don't like how easy it is to hit a home run out of right field. I think eventually they'll probably fix that, but overall, it's a pretty nice stadium. I don't have it in my top 5, but it's certainly in the top 10, so it's knocking on the door of the top 5. And number 2, you guys have both had this, AT&T Park, home of the Giants. The right field, the water outside the park, the glove in left field, the cars on the outfield wall, everything about this. The only issue is that they get shadows, but that happens in every park, and it's not nearly as bad as Candlestick used to be. Overall, I like that stadium a lot. What do you guys have at number 2?
I've got Fenway Park at number 2. It just has such a rich tradition and history with Boston baseball and everything. The monster in left field. It's just a great ballpark. I haven't had the opportunity to go check it out yet, but that's somewhere I would definitely want to.
Now, for my number 2 and number 1, I'm going to start off with my number 2, like you guys said. It's a hard time choosing a top 5 because I like so many baseball stadiums. One of my dreams before I die is to at least go to every baseball stadium and attend one game before I die. And if I have that opportunity, I really want to go to the Marlins Park. That's my number 2 favorite stadium. If you look at it, this is a beautiful stadium. They put a lot of money invested into this. I really like when they hit a home run. Mike Stanton just destroyed the scoreboard out in the left field with that home run. I like with the fish go across the like a waterfall out there in the left center field. It looks like a great environment. There's a grassy area next to where it is, and it looks like a beautiful place to come and visit if you're in Miami.
The one thing that I like that park, I saw a tour that they did on MLB.com of it. The part of the park where you're not in the stands, where you go onto the concourse and everything, that park looks beautiful. The actual field, it's all right, 37-some thousand. It's the smallest park in the MLB, and that thing in center field, that is such a joke. I'm sorry. I like the park, but there's certain parts of it. The fish behind home plate is a pretty cool feature. It's like when the Rays have the stingrays out in center field. I mean, they're drawing better at that park. Hopefully that continues. That's a great thing overall for the MLB to have happen, is for baseball to get popular down there with either of those teams. And a new park hopefully should do that. At number 1, how can you have anything but Fenway Park? This is a stadium that I look at it, and it's the 100th anniversary. In the 1990s, I watched videos of it, and it really looked like it was about to be done. What they've done is they've taken great care of it. They've refurbished pretty much everything. There's like a bathroom inside the Monster. But everything about the Monster, Pesky's pole, everything about it is historical. You've seen so many great players play on that field. I love the Fenway Park, and I can't believe that I haven't gone to it yet. And hopefully this is not one of the stadiums that they tear down. Hopefully they just redo it.
At my number 1, I got Wrigley Field. Somewhere I'd always wanted to go with the ivy and the outfield and everything. Just seems like a great ballpark and great atmosphere in there in Chicago. Just has such a rich history, going all the way back to when Babe Ruth called his shot in the World Series in 1932, I believe. It's just a great ballpark, great atmosphere, like I said. It's somewhere I definitely would want to check out.
It's somewhere I want to go, but I don't think it's one of the nicer stadiums in the MLB. The overall field, it's just not that nice. I love watching afternoon games there where the wind's blowing out. I remember some of those games were Sammy Sosa back in the day. Well, I guess it's back in the day for me because I was a little kid. Sammy Sosa, some of those days, he'd sprint out onto the field, and you know that Sammy Sosa's hitting 3 home runs with the wind blowing out, maybe more on that day. I think he had 1 4-home run game in his career. I loved watching some of those games back there. Overall, I want to go to the park, but I wouldn't rank it as one of my nicer parks. Justin, what do you have, man?
And for number one, before I head off here, guys, you guys are going to be like, why is this at your number one? My number one favorite stadium in all of Major League Baseball is the Rogers Center in Toronto. If you actually watch their night games, you can see, when a pop fly happens, you can see a blue light as the overcast at night games, and it's just a beautiful environment. I love the blue inside the stadium. It really challenges hitters because this is like Tim says with the Citi Field for the New York Mets, it's like a Grand Canyon of a stadium. It really challenges hitters to get on the board fast and easy with home runs. And it's just a beautiful environment. I really enjoy watching the Jays. Jose Bautista's a monster, and it's just a beautiful place in general.
Yeah, you caught me off guard with that. And I just realized I left one of my favorite stadiums. I probably would have 2 or 3 Angel Stadium out, the Rocks and outfield are nice. Overall, the Twins' new stadium, Progressive Field, that's a really nice overall stadium. That's what I'm talking about, Comerica Park. All these nice new stadiums that are being built around the MLB, most of them have been built since 2000. There's so many nice stadiums in the MLB right now. That's one of the great things that the MLB has going. And then there's some stadiums like Fenway Park and Dodger Stadium that are very old. Obviously, they've been redone. But for the most part, they're the same stadium that was there 60, 100 years ago in Fenway Park's case.